All right. Hello, 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 everyone. So excited to be here this evening. If you don't know, my name is Brenda Williams, and I'm a visionary empath biz coach. And I help female identified leaders hone their empathic gifts so that they can create social justice, equity, and inclusion out in the world through their mission based businesses. And I have a 10-month program for those leaders that's starting next week. I am so excited. And we have a 10-month program to where you will have part system learning, seasonal planning, collaborative working, sprinkled with some of the best experts in the field to help you not only understand your empathic gift and seasonal flow, but also the systems and structures to help you be successful in your entrepreneurial journey. We know that capitalism is what it is, it's not going anywhere. But how can we use the resources that are available to create a different narrative and shift the culture? And I believe that it is through the feminine. And so my amazing guest today has said yes to the 10-month program. So Deena Policicchio
Yes.
has agreed to join us on this odyssey of empathic business building. And she is a strategist for strategist and coach for nonprofit leaders. And Deena has spent several years in the nonprofit arena and is coming out with already a wealth of knowledge. But now it's time to take what she has done for others and do it for herself. Deena, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Brenda, for having me. It is always my honor to work with you.
Oh my gosh. Well, I adore you. And so we'll just get into it. There are a million coaching programs out there, places to, build up your business, and particularly in the ecosystem that we're in. We're located in Detroit. There's plenty of places that you could go to for biz development. What made you say yes to this?
Well, I think it is first your female identified specificity there. I am a feminist, and through that, I believe all people are equal, but the feminine has been subjugated throughout history as second class. And I want to empower female identified individuals. And the fact that you focus on that sphere made me feel comfortable right off the bat. The second is I've seen you grow in the Detroit area and all of your endeavors and how successful you are, as well as more, maybe most importantly or so, is that how respected you are in your career and how people who work with you, even for a half an hour, walk away saying how changed they are for the better. And why would I not want to take advantage of this opportunity to work with you? And it's going to be for a lot more than a half hour. It's going to be for 10 months. So I definitely would want that opportunity.
Well, so that I don't start crying all over the place. Because I'm really moved, of course, by your work and in the specificity of the feminine, and you being a feminist, and in the climate that we're in. Why do you think it's so important for us to name, like, specifically female identified, feminine leadership, feminine structure? Why are those things so important to you?
Well, I think it's finally because the corporate world is recognizing that as well. They're talking about intuitive, empathic leadership. They're talking about how those skills that are traditionally business and masculine aren't cutting it anymore. There needs to be more willingness to be open to learning from one another and not always seeing each other as competitors, learning from failure, and breaching out there. And to everyone listening, I think it's getting louder and louder. I apologize for my dog that is snoring, but She is a rescue senior pit bull, and she goes where she wants and she snores where she wants. So I apologize. Hopefully, that's not taking away from our conversation for everybody, but I did want that noise explained. Um, and I should say that again, corporate America or corporate worlds, because we're not just America anymore, but the corporate world is recognizing this, and I think it's about time. And those of us who have always valued and celebrated these skills now need to say it is about time. So here we are. We can help you get there. And so I want to help people who maybe were less inclined to embrace their feminine sides, their empathic sides, their feeling sides, to how to make those skills work for them as leaders.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you're so right, as we even see it in the nonprofit world, which is your sphere.
Mhm.
What do you think that an empathic leader brings to the nonprofit world?
Well, what I was going to say is there's probably a misunderstanding. They would assume everyone who is in the nonprofit sphere already has that empathy,
Mhm.
and that is not true. Um, there are lots of reasons people find themselves in the nonprofit sphere, but they are not always coming from a place of empathy and unity and justice. And those are requirements, and they should be, but that is not always what brought people to the nonprofit world. Unfortunately, many people enter that arena with a savior kind of mentality. And when you put that, like, oh, I have a story to tell and people should hear my story to help them, people need help, that's not the mentality one should have. And I think now, by taking an empathic approach, we will hopefully remodel the nonprofit sphere to come from a more strength and positive space to address cultural and community issues. And that's what the nonprofit sphere should be about.
Yeah. And if I'm hearing you correctly, it's more about serving versus coming in and saving.
Um, I it's not that I'm going to disagree with the word serve. I'm just going to tweak it a little bit to maybe support, because I'm walking alongside of people and not behind them and not in front of them. I think that a true nonprofit leader recognizes that sometimes the client or participant is the teacher, and the staff or the volunteer is the student, and then those roles can change. And that's what's really important, is that people don't see themselves coming in as, oh, I have something to serve you. I am here to help you. I'm here to be the one who has something that you need. Well, I think in this global community, we all need from one another, and we all give and take. And um, some of the women who have taught me the most were probably those I was, quote, hired, unquote, to serve. And I never felt like I was serving them. I felt like they were giving to me their gifts, and I learned so much from them. And that's what I want to bring to the people I will be working with. And that is the gifts that I received from those women.
I think that that is a beautiful way to engage so as to not have the ego involved
Mhm.
and really be a benefit of those that we are called to support. I like that. So I'll
Mhm.
be using that instead of saying serve, to support. What is it about this program that you're looking forward to the most?
Um, well, this might be cheesy, but it is going to be the community hood, or the community or sisterhood. because I've been outside of that for a little while. I worked in organizations that served women and girls for, well, since 1998 to 2017. Those were the organization missions that I was working in. And since 2017, I've been more on my own or in co-ed spaces. And I'm ready to go back to my sisters. I'm ready to soak up their community, even the bad things about being women. I'll be fine with it. Like, no offense, like the stereotypes. I'll be fine with any. Not that your group would ever have this, but I almost would be fine with it. I just miss women so much. Let me bring on the negative stereotypes too. It's
And
fine.
that's good because we really want to be authentic and honest as we move into the space. And, for anyone that may be on the fence, I think that it's also really important to name
Mhm.
that oppression has also been perpetuated by other women and
Oh, for sure.
we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the emergence of the womanist movement because the feminist movement left certain factions of women behind, namely women of color. So,
Yeah.
we
Thank
can't
goodness for a third wave. We're getting it right in the third try. Third tries the charm, right?
right?
We're getting it right in the third wave. And I mean, the horrors of what my caucus my caucasoidal sisters did before me, and mothers and grandmothers. Um, it's amazing though to think that in 100 years, because really feminism started in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So that feminism in 100 years, we're getting it right. Like societies don't get much right even in that long, but yet women did. Like we did this. We started in a very wrong place in this country, and now as we're moving forward, and it's only in 100 years, and we're now recognizing our trans sisters, our sisters of color, and we're also being brought to their tables and being educated on what we did wrong, and hopefully we're listening well, and 100% that in 100 years we're doing it, we're going to make it better.
And I love that you said the empathy because that's the key thing to, enact any changes is that willingness to listen and sit in discomfort because all those seats can get hot.
Oh, and they should. We earned a lot of, we've earned it, not a lot, we've earned it, we earned it all, we earned it all. And I do think that white women need to recognize the socialized, internalized, socialized oppression that we put out, and we need to hear about that. I mean, it's as simple as I have to admit it. I have daughters of other races, and we talk about hair all the time, and you know, I've said things like that I just don't understand, but I'm getting better, and they're teaching me every day, and um, I am proud to say they've never said they want my hair, and I'm glad for it because my hair is terrible, so I don't want them to want my hair. So, that's a very trivial thing, but hair is it has translated into such awfulness that while it is trivial and it's just hair, it's been used as a weapon, and so that's why I brought it up.
Absolutely. And I think, well, of course, our hair, no matter what texture it is, of course, yes, we know it's beautiful, but I know exactly what you're saying about hair. And I mean, that's a whole topic that we could
Yeah.
probably, yeah, for another, but I just want to center what you're saying about they they don't want your hair. And I don't even know if people understand how impactful that is, particularly for a girl of color to embrace the natural coil and kink and wave pattern in her own hair and not aspire toward um, obviously a more European aesthetic. And with the Crown Act just recently passing, this is a huge deal. And then to see images like our recently appointed Supreme Court
Yes.
justice, not just a black woman, a dark skinned black woman with locks in her hair, looking every bit professional, that is really something to see. And I know that when you were talking about the evolution of feminism being 100 years, my grandmother passed at 101. So that really sort of
Mhm.
started in the infancy when she was born.
Right.
I think she would have even imagined seeing a Barack Obama, a black man in office, and then to see what has happened in the years since. I know that that's not something even fathomable to her generation. It was like an impossibility. A day would never come that they would even see anything like this. So it's monumentous. Something as small
Mhm.
as hair is extraordinarily significant.
And not that they always get it right, but if you watched this, not to date your wonderful live here, but the April, I guess that would be the 9th, Saturday Night Live, they celebrated Justice Brown Jackson's confirmation, and uh, they talk about how like they had black leaders throughout time, even those who are dead, they were embodied, and they were coming back, and they were like, so we're good, right? Like we're in charge, and they're like, nope. She's like, nope, things haven't changed. And then they're like, but you're here, and she's like, yep, it's one more step, and but it was funny. Just you talked about her luscious locks, and I was just they had Kate McKinnon play Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and she came out and she's like, "You're gonna have these women wearing like silhouettes of your face everywhere," and I was like, "I can't wait! Someone make me a Taji Brown Jackson silhouette that I can just have with the doily or the justice robe. I can't wait! It's gonna be amazing."
And it is something to see and to watch. And being in this diverse container of sisterhood, it is mirroring what we want to see out in the world. And just your yes is so impactful and is amplifying the collective. So, of course, we could do this all night. I just want to, as we begin to close, what would you say to someone who maybe is on the fence about joining the program, or if it's the right fit for them? What would you say to someone?
Ooh, um, I would say that I can guarantee you won't regret it. You might come in with one goal in mind, or you might think like this program's got to give me A. I mean, obviously, I'm starting the program too, so I can't promise what the end results are, but I can say that with working with you for the time that I have, that you might have like, oh, I want to accomplish A, and you might not accomplish A. I don't know. But I can say you will accomplish B, C, D, E, F, G. Like you will do something. There's no way you won't get something out of it. I'm looking forward to the sisterhood. I'm looking forward to the management part. It's not just going to be kumbaya, right? It's not going to just be touchy feely. There's going to be hard, tangible business lessons and skills taught, and I'm also looking forward to that. I don't want to minimize that when I said the sisterhood, but that's part of it for me, and it's a big part. But I know I'm also going to get these business skills that have been frustrating me. I mean, this. I've been trying to launch this for 2 years, and I keep getting lost in my own head about it. And so I know that this program is going to get me out of my head. I know this program is going to get me actually with a full-fledged program that I'm able to put out in the world and not just friends and family anymore. It's going to be where I am doing this, and I know that's going to happen. And people who are more advanced and further along, they're going to get something out of it too. They're going to get that next level because I've already seen like what by the questions you've asked me, I can tell what kinds of things we're going to be looking at and doing. And I think so anyone who's a coach or a business leader, she's going to get what she needs out of it, the skills, because I just know that that's what's going to happen because you're going to do it. And I mean, it's just what you've promised, and you never break promises.
No, no, I don't break promises. And I do like to go to the heart of things. And so I will say, like many women, not all, but a lot of women that come to me initially, they are in their heads. And
Hmm.
there's this marriage between head and heart. And that's my job, and I love is bringing the head and heart into alignment. And yes, you do need the sisterhood, but you do also need the systems and structures. You need
Yeah.
to have the funnel. You can call it client journey if you like, put another name on, but there are just certain things that have to be there. And even after you have that, because like you said, there may be some more seasoned individuals there, and there are, then what are your hiring practices look like as you begin to build your business out? Do you
Mm-hmm.
uh, people on your team that well don't look like you? You know,
Mm-hmm.
how are you encouraging the next generation of feminine leadership? So when you're in that point of scaling, this well, I don't know where to find them. I don't know where to look.
Mm-hmm.
Well, come into this program because there's no excuse as to why we don't have a diverse workforce. And let's just
Mm-hmm.
face it, with feminine leadership, it's an imperative that you have as you're beginning to build out your business and your business practices, and even in some of the softwares that we use, we need to make sure that BIPOC and queer business owners and developers are in the mix of what we are incorporating in our businesses, and that has to be by design and by choice.
And I also know that you're going to create a community of accountability. We're going to have to do what we're sent out to do. And we can change our mind, but we're going to have to do something else. We're not just going to be like, I changed my mind. I don't want to do that anymore. I can just sit back and like listen to everybody talk. Nope. What else are you doing now? What are you doing now? And so I'm looking forward to the accountability from the group as well.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one of the things that, for those of you who may be on the fence, or what is this thing? So there are pods that are created. So there is accountability there, but then also the sister mind where we come with our questions, concerns, to the collective. And then, yes, the accountability. So what's the date? What's the thing? And when will it be accomplished by? And then if it's not, okay, so what came up for us? I'm not saying
Mhm.
that, punitive going to come drive by. You didn't, but there has to be a sense of commitment, not just to ourselves, but just also those people that we're called to serve. Because when we're not our best selves and we're not seeing things through for ourselves, then those that we've called to serve then don't get or support that,
Mhm.
that we're called to support um,
Right.
aren't getting the best of us. And so we know, I mean, that's the reason why we're entrepreneurs, right? We know what the systems look like. So we're coming out and we're creating our own. So
Mhm.
and I don't think we want to go back. So with that said, um, Deena, I'm so glad you said yes.
Well, thank you for asking.
Yes, I'm so glad you said yes, and I can't wait to see you. So I am. If anyone is interested in the 10-month program to learn more about it, here is a link that you can check out so that you can learn more about this program that we're starting. I cannot believe next week, and
I know we've been talking about it for a minute.
I know, and it's like it's fine. It's finally here. So with
Mhm.
that, thank you so much for saying yes. And please, for those of you who are watching this on the replay or on the other social media platforms, please say yes to yourself. And until next time, be well, take care of yourself. And Deena, I will see you soon.
Thank you. Bye, Brenda.
Bye.